Hello and welcome to this introductory lecture on wine. My name's Ian Moore. I'd like to just briefly introduce you to what we'll be doing in this segment. I've had a long, hard think about this subject on how to interpret the needs of the students of this course and how to represent that in the structure of the course itself. For that reason, should you wish to know how to manufacture your own wine in your home, this segment is not necessary and you can skip past it. However, for a full appreciation of the wines you'll be exposed to in life, you may be surprised to see what you can actually take away from this segment. Briefly, I'm going to be covering what is wine, why make your own wine, what makes and who makes and consumes wine globally, and serving wine to its best advantage in terms of maturity, stability, temperature, whether to decant, glasses to use, what types of wines go with what food groups, good drinking company, and drinking and appreciation of wine. So then, I hope that you'll benefit from this introductory lecture, and I'll just move on. What is wine? Wine is the fermented juice of a grape or fermented liqueur made from the juice of other fruits or from grain, flowers, the sap of various trees and so on. The chief ingredients are water, flavouring, sugar, acid, tannin and alcohol. Alcohol is formed from sugar during fermentation. Fermentation is caused by the microscopic vegetable cell called yeast. Wine cannot be made without yeast, it's a necessary component. Some fruits, such as grapes, have an abundance of suitable yeast in their skins. Known as bloom, it resembles a whitish powder and is particularly noticeable on plums. Most fruits, flowers, vegetables, cereals, and tinned and bottled juices have no yeast, and therefore it's got to be added to ensure fermentation. Why make your own wine? Well, as we all know, wine can be brewed at a fraction of commercial wines, costing 10 to 15 times the price of a home brew. So it's cheaper in terms of monetary cost. It's a creative hobby. It's a hobby with extensions, for example, keeping bees, growing fruits, going for country walks, etc. And a variety of flavours are not available elsewhere on the market and may be made specifically to your palate. In addition, there's an organic concern, or a GM concern, if you wish to make GM free or certain specific needs for your palate or dietary consumption. You can also do that when you make your own wine. Wine consumption, latest per capita in 2005, as you can see, wine's consumed right across the world, from Argentina to Switzerland, Greece, Canada, Austria, the USA, as well as the UK, right across the globe. The main consumer include France, Italy, Spain and Switzerland and Portugal. However, it is a global phenomenon, a truly global phenomenon, and it's also one which, while being European-centred, is drastically being consumed around the world and produced around the world as well. If we come to the next, which leads me to the next slide. Wine production, thousands of hectolitres in 2006. As you can see, the main producers are also the main consumers, with the exception of the USA. You'd expect that being a European-centric wine production orientation, that would not be the case, but as you can see, there's a significant consumption in the USA. Main world wine production areas, if you want to see them on the globe, there you are, just for your information. Maturity and suitability, it's all a question of taste. Tasting stages. The result of 4 recognised stages to wine tasting Appearance is the first. In glass, the aroma of the wine. The second. The third, in mouth sensations. And finally, finish and aftertaste are combined in order to establish the following properties of wine: complexity and character, potential suitability for aging or drinking, possible faults, and wine's overall assessment follows further careful description and comparison when recognised standards, both with respect to other wines in its price range and in according with known factors pertaining to the region or vintage. In a particular region, if in a particular region it diverges in style, for example, if it uses certain winemaking techniques such as barrel fermentation, and for example oak aging, or malolactic fermentation, that would be a consideration as well. Horizontal and vertical tasting should be undertaken when doing a tasting session. Whereas wines are regularly tasted in isolation, a wine's quality assessment is more objective when performed alongside several other wines in what's known as tasting flights. Wines may be deliberately selected for their vintage, horizontal tasting, or proceed from a single winery, a vertical tasting, to better compare vineyard and vintages respectively. Alternatively, in order to promote an unbiased analysis, bottles and even glasses may be disguised in a blind tasting to rule out any prejudicial awareness of either vintage or winery. Serving temperature. The temperature that wine is served at can greatly affect the way it tastes and smells. Lower temperatures emphasize acidity and tannins while muting the aromatics. Higher temperatures will minimize acidity and tannins whilst increasing aromatics. If you look beneath the text there, you'll see that I've given you a few examples of wine types, the location, the type of wine, and the temperature that it should be served at for your information. Presentations of wine, glasses and decanter. Wines benefit from 1 hour periods in a decanter if previously bottled for prolonged periods. Maturation gases escape. Minute amounts of alcohol oxidize, improving the bouquet. Avoid coloured glasses and use clear glasses that emphasize the beauty of the wine. Only fill each glass to a half or 2/3 full. Glasses should have broad bases with stout stems and an incurved bowl, preventing the smell from leaving the glass too quickly. That's known as the bouquet. What type of wines go with what food groups? A simple diagram making a previously complex subject easy to digest is in front of you. For your information, it will also be included as part of the course notes. Moving on, food simply understood. Rose and light wines, both red and white, with light food. Dry white wines with poultry, pork and fish. Dry red wines with roast meats, dark-hued fish, such as mullet and of course cheese. Sweet white wines with the dessert course, sweet biscuits or cake. Sweet red wines with cheese, nuts and apples after a meal. Sparkling wines and dry sherry types as aperitifs. Few wines taste as well on their own as they do with food. It's become an art in itself, however these general rules do apply. Good company and good wines. It's important to match up the tastes of your social circle with the wines that you serve. For example, if you're enjoying dry wines, it would be improper to serve a succession of sweet wines. Drinking and appreciation of wine. By now you've satisfied yourself that the wine is mature, suited the wine for the occasion and types of food, served it at the right temperature. Congratulations, it's now time to drink the wine. So raise a glass to the nose and deeply inhale. When drinking the wine, you should pick the glass up by the stem, and again the glass should be half filled, allowing the bouquet to aspire. Good wine should be clear, subtle and resemble the main ingredient, and also balanced so that component parts do not overpower the aroma. Acids, alcohols, tannins, sugars, etc. Take a deep mouthful of the wine and swallow. The wine should, after a few moments, generate tastes on the back of the tongue that are deeply satisfying. Congratulations, that section's now complete. Please move on to the next section and I'll see you soon. Bye.